Well, despite an accident on his bicycle, James Creedon has joined us. You had a bit of a mishap. You fell off. You hurt some cartilage in your chest. But you're okay.
I'm all right.
Okay, I'm glad you're okay.
This was a week ago. It's all
okay,
but
good. You're
feeling
feeling better. Yeah, you're okay. Tell us about Media Watch.
All right. From bike accidents to Nicolas Sarkozy, there is no link. But we'll go to his meeting yesterday in Villepinte. Now, one thing that several media have spotted, Mark, is that he's finishing every single rally at the moment with the same appeal: aidez-moi. Help me. Now, we'll take a look at it because he might need help. Let's take a look at an edit we put together of the last number of meetings, and you'll see a theme emerging, which I've already given away, actually. But
Je vous demande une chose ce soir, ici à Marseille. Aidez-moi. 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 Aidez-moi à construire cette France forte. Aidez-moi. Aidez-moi. Aidez-moi à rendre la France plus forte. Françaises, Français, peuple de France, aidez-moi. Aidez-moi. Aidez-moi.
Why does he need to look down to read aidez-moi? He should know it off by heart, shouldn't he?
That one should roll off the tongue, really, at this point. Now, one paradox, or one kind of weird contradiction isn't he trying to be a protective president? The sort of the La France forte, a strong France.
Yeah.
Asking for help, isn't that a bit weak and a bit kind of humble and a bit...
It doesn't socialist, doesn't it?
It doesn't seem very consistent. Now, what a lot of people are saying is, this reminds the historians of something. It reminds them of Charles de Gaulle back in 1958, around the time the Fifth Republic was being drafted.
I remember.
That's right.
Reading about it in history.
That's right. He asked to be helped. So a television experience. And in 1961, during the Algerian War of Independence, there was a risk of a coup d'etat. Four generals who opposed his opening the way for Algerian independence. And he also asked for help from the French Republic. Let's take a look at that particular clip, because people are saying he was inspired by that.
Françaises, Français, voyez où risque d'aller la France par rapport à ce qu'elle était en train de redevenir. Françaises, Français, aidez-moi.
Now, that was what I call a presidential speech.
There you go, aidez-moi.
And Sarkozy's lifted it word for word at the end.
I think De Gaulle
catchphrase.
He did. De Gaulle put more welly into it. I think.
Certainly. I mean, it's a real resonating voice, isn't it?
It
and
is.
That delivery is fantastic.
So maybe Sarkozy is betting on this kind of tapping into the national consciousness and people remembering those moments, and I don't know. Now,
as long as it organise a coup d'etat, anyway.
Now, one more thing, Mark, before we leave Sarkozy.
There must be another influence, surely.
There is Stephen Erlanger over at the New York Times.
Okay.
He's saying, hold on a minute, that speech yesterday at Villepinte, I see strong influences of Richard Nixon in that speech. Now, he says Nixon in 1969...
That's not a good parallel for Sarkozy, is it?
In 1969, Nixon spoke about the silent majority in France, not in France, in the US. And Sarkozy is now speaking about that and how the silent majority are perhaps going to vote for him. So Stephen Erlanger thinks that the inspiration is not coming from de Gaulle, it's coming from the other side of the Atlantic.
Okay.
A few decades previous.
Tell us more.
All right, well, okay, let's move on to another item. Speaking of politicians and, gearing up for elections and all that, here you've got Rick Santorum. Now, let's take a listen to a little excerpt of a video that has been going around the web. I think I might have given away what he says in it here, but let's take a listen.
See, I always believe that when you run for president of the United States, it should be illegal to read off a teleprompter. Because all you're doing is reading somebody else's words.
I agree, James. It should be illegal to read off a teleprompter. What should I ask you next?
You see, you're going to have to write it on your hand now, Mark.
I usually do,
Now, actually, a couple of people have been tweeting on it. They're saying, let's see if Santorum changes his mind about teleprompters when he's president. Oh, wait. In other words, that's probably not going to happen. And another word, speaking about what would happen to news anchors everywhere. If Rick Santorum gets his way, you're going to see our anchors looking down a lot, just as Mark Owen did. But the thing is, what Santorum is saying is that politicians on teleprompters are reading what has been written for them, except I can vouch for everybody that Mark Owen writes his own script.
Well, you're very kind to me, James. Thank you very much indeed. Maybe Santorum has a point.
Hats off.
Perhaps politicians should be more honest.
Right.
I'm not saying they're liars.
As honest as newsreaders.
James Creedon, I'd better stop you there. Thank you very much, James Creedon with Media Watch.